So your debut album, First Impressions,
Oh, yeah,
just came
yeah.
out. Tell me about First Impressions. What kind of impression did you want to make on listeners?
Well, really though is a great artist. Really though is a hard worker. Really though is here to stay for a long time. Really though is his own man. Really though is not just here because of his relationship with Kanye West, and that's my first impression. Really though has a timeless album. Really though is about to be an icon.
So how do you plan to take it to that level? How do you plan to become an icon?
Well, with this album, First Impressions, just doing something that's not being repeated. Not only that, just creating my own lane. Making sure every video that I shoot is most definitely a movie. Not just copycatting or just following the trend of other artists out there. So therefore, it's something that I did different by creating First Impressions. I made sure every line, every word for word meant something. Every track is special. I'm not the type of artist that I just throw miscellaneous verses on top of music. I write on top of the track, so therefore I'm in a different mood. For tracks like Psychotic and Opera Love, I might be happy one day, I might be in a party mode one day, or I might be in an inspiring mode one day. And you hear that throughout all my tracks.
Is it hard to make a first impression when people look at the album cover and they see the Good Music label imprint right on there?
Well, I wouldn't say hard because I did the smart thing and didn't put like a lot of features on my album. And not only that, I created this album like outside of my family, so people wouldn't say, all right, this album is just so great because Kanye came in and he sat down and he pressed every button to make this happen. Not to say who wouldn't love to have a stamp. I mean, a stamp of approval from Kanye, but it's not really hard. I mean, the Good Music logo, all that does is help and gives people notoriety of who I am. This is really dope. You know I'm from New Major. We know I'm from Disperse. And of course, if you're asking me, do I have to work hard because I know I have to press play around so many other great artists? This is a competition. So when you're actually putting your work out there, you're not putting work out there just to be accepted. You're putting work out to kill.
Flip it? Okay. Well, people are going to put this on. They're going to learn about you. They're going to learn about Chicago. They're going to learn about your life. What's the most intimate detail that people are going to get about you on this album without having to listen to it?
Well, really though is a lyricist. Really though is emotional. They might ask, what's your zodiac sign? They might ask that, but I'm emotional, and most definitely they will feel that throughout the album. I mean, for us, like how I express myself on every track differently. They're gonna feel really though is a great lyricist. Really though, I mean, he has what it takes to go to the top.
What other artists do you see coming out right now, maybe from Chicago? I know Chicago has a nice little scene going.
Right.
Who do you think holds a candle to what you're doing right now?
What do you mean, just the Chicago artists, or
Yeah,
just
let's talk about in Chicago.
in Chicago? I don't think there's anybody that's basically doing what I'm doing right now in Chicago. But we got a lot of talented artists. It's a lot of talented artists in Chicago. But for us, like being able to represent all like sides of Chicago, like East Side, West Side, North Side, South Side, I feel like I'm the only Chicago artist that's actually going there. I mean, of course, you got Common. I'm not taking nothing away from all the great artists. You got Common, you got Kanye, you got Lupe Fiasco, you got Twister, but they all like was kind of like based off on sides. Like Common was more of like the West Side Chicago rapper, but his fan base is huge. Don't get me wrong, he has a huge following, but it's like I'm all of that mixed in the pot. I'm able to deal with the North Sides. I'm able to deal with the heads. I'm able to like grab the gangsters in. I'm able to get like the West Side D-boys in, because I am all that mixed in the pot.
Someone comes to Chicago. What's some?
Okay.
Someone comes to Chicago. Where are you going to tell them to go? How are you going to tell them to get prepared to go there? What's some advice that you would give to someone that's not really accustomed to the Chicago lifestyle?
Most definitely, I will tell them to stay downtown. Stay in the downtown area. Chicago was going through. Not only that, too, you want to like enjoy Chicago. You want to enjoy like all the great landmarks and different things like that for us, like the Taste of Chicago, Millennium Park, um, uh, our Shed Aquarium, our lakefront. Most definitely, I want to see enjoy all the great parts, and I wouldn't like want to send anybody else and have them hurt. Tell them that, yeah, ride through the hundreds or ride through 87 where I grew up at. I want you to come back in peace. The city is going through a brutal time right now.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of violence going on. So actually, me and Common, we did a concert at a college, CVS school, last year on some Stop the Violence campaign, just to try to get the kids something to do. And that's right now what's going on in Chicago is like a lot of like the boys and girls homes, like the activities like YMCA's and field houses, they're tearing them down and different things like that. So now the kids really have nothing to do but stand on the corner and carry a gun. And and me, I grew up in the hood, so for me to like talk to them and give them advice, they listen because I'm not someone who haven't lived it and haven't walked in their shoes before, which I totally don't express throughout my music because I think it waters me down as an artist, talking about drugs and talking about guns. I mean, if I'm planning on taking the world over, I mean, how can I win by repeating what everybody else is doing?
That's true.